Good morning and welcome to a beautiful morning here in the southeast, South Australia. Played Narracourt yesterday and I'm on my way to Penola Golf Course now. Penola's in the Limestone Coast. It's about 100 k's from the Victorian border, about 50 k's from a big town called Mount Gambier in South Australia. Going to be driving through some what they call the Coonawarra, which is a very famous wine region. But we're not far away, so let's keep moving and get to that golf course. Penola Golf Club. It looks good. I'm not going to get the chance to play it. I've got to move on to another course. I'm running a bit late this morning, but it does look good. I remember playing here a few times many years ago. Again, it's one of these golf clubs that has open days and things like that. They've got a nice little putting green over here. Looks like there's a bit of an event coming up. The Limestone Coast Golf Week. Limestone Coast Golf Week. So if anyone's got a few days off in late November, this looks like the place to come. So you play Penola, Mount Gambier, Millicent and Blue Lake. That's a good event. 72 holes. Looks like they've got some good sponsors too. This is the 10th hole, par 4, 347 metres. As I say, it looks good. These courses are great, you know, like you can just come here, there's no one here. There's actually a group walking down the first now, and it's the only car in the car park. I mean, you can't beat that. So we'll just go for a walk and have a look at a couple of these greens over here. They haven't been cut this morning, there's dew on them. But it looks in good condition. They always are. You know, for a golfing destination, the lower southeast is definitely overlooked. You can rock up and play these golf courses without too many people around, and always, you know, pretty good quality greens. But they haven't been cut this morning, and they probably still roll alright. Someone over there on the tractor doing a bit of rolling by the looks of it. I'm not sure what he's up to. So look, this is Penola Golf Course. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to play. I want to move on to another golf course about 50 k's away. I want to spend a bit of time there and play a few holes. It's a golf course where I used to be a superintendent, so I haven't played there for many years, so it'd be good to go back and have a look. So the journey will continue, and we're going to move on to Millicent Golf Course. Here we come. A lot of things about the courses down here in the southeast, and I'm not sure whether it's the case elsewhere, is the golf courses themselves are nowhere near the townships. 20-25 k's out of the towns, but we've arrived. It's saying Millicent Golf Club, top country course in SA, 3.5 k's. Let's go and have a look. Okay, we've arrived at the golf course, and guess what? Cord scarified greens, and now they're top dressing them. But look, I've come this far. I think I'll just go out and have a bit of a hit and show you around the course a little bit. It's worth having a look. Course looks good. Fairways look like they're starting to get really good cover here. They used to be patchy, but looks like the Santa Ana's starting to cover over pretty well. So things that were done in the past and things that's been getting done now seems to be falling in place with those fairways. Cape weed used to be a real problem out here on these fairways, but once you achieve really good cover, it'll choke the cape weed out, particularly with Santa Ana. It's a pity because the course looks fantastic. It's a real gem, this one. It's surprising how good these greens can get. throughout the southeast, where I've just been, Penola, Narracourt here, Mount Gambier, you're presented with good greens. But we're going to play the 10th hole here. We're going to have a hit, a bit of a walk and the talk and a bit of a chat and just show you around the course, because it's not going to be worth putting. The flags aren't even in the greens, so bummer, but that's what it is. We'll go and have a look. So it's a par 72. Some of the par 5s are gettable in 2 for your longer hitter. $20 for 9 holes and $40 for 18, which, you know, is incredible value, really. And the fact that you can actually pay $20 to play 9 holes is great. Gives you that option if you're short of time, like I am a little bit at the moment. So I've just hit off the 10th here. It's a par 5. Normally a good drive will get you over the top of that corner, that top of that mound. And you kind of want to be left side, because if you hit it right side, which I have, there's a massive tree out here that blocks you out from hitting your second shot. Coming down the 10th, over the top of the mound. Pity these greens are caught. It would have been a good outing. But they're getting really good cover on these fairways. Amazing. It's good to be back to have a look. And it's good to see the club doing well. I was just having a chat to the club president. He's out here leading the gang with the greens renovations, and he said things are going great here. They're actually looking for a greenkeeper. I think he said the package is about 80 grand, so that includes car, phone, fuel. Don't know what sort of car it is, so you probably, salary wise, cash wise, is probably around the 60, 65, something like that. But for any aspiring greenkeeper out there that wants to come to a golf course and learn his trade, because you're going to be the go-to person, because you're going to be the only greenkeeper here, so you're going to have to be dedicated, but you're going to learn your job pretty quick and how to do it properly. But you got a sand-based golf course here to deal with. Come winter, it drains so well. It's one of the best courses around in the southeast here because of the drainage. You just don't get puddles. But then in the summer, you got to keep the water up. But it's the best way to deal with the golf course. Sand-based golf courses are the best ones to manage, that's for sure. That's my opinion. But yeah, if anyone's interested, they're looking for someone. There's a lot of really good looks on this golf course because you're hitting in some of the high areas. I guess one thing about it is, which a lot of people don't like, is you get quite a few blind shots into the greens. Like they're elevated from the fairway, so you don't really know where the flag is. But you get used to that after you play it for a while. You get to know where that flag is, so to speak. And if you're walking past those greens, it's always good to have a look. This is looking back down the fairway from the 11th green back to the tee. Bit of a climb, a bit out of breath. But one thing that's really noticeable since I was last here is the improvement in the fairways. There's a bit of moss in them, but that'll dry out in the summertime. There's always poa, you know, that's just a constant battle for greenkeepers, but it doesn't matter. If you back off your water when it starts to heat up, then the poa will start to struggle, and certainly the moss will dry out and disappear. But the cover's fantastic. Not sure what height they're cutting their fairways at. Optimum height for Santa Ana Cooch, with all the research, is 10 mil. It makes it run. It doesn't like to be cut long because it gets a bit thatchy and airy and the ball will sit down in amongst it. So if you want the Cooch to run and not to thatch up, 10 mils the go. So you can see they've cored and they've scarified. They've done a good job. It looks like they've removed a lot of the core. So that's a hollow tine. So they've taken the organic matter out. Guys coming up behind me, blowing the green off, and then they're top dressing and rubbing it in. So give it probably 4 to 6 weeks. The green should be absolutely superb coming into Christmas time. So if you're heading this way around that time, make sure you come here and have a game, because this is a gem, this course. struggling with my game at the moment, not really finding much at all. But I'll persevere because that's all we can do, isn't it? You know, I would love to have grown up as a kid playing this golf course. The only thing when you're a kid, it's a fair way out of town to try and get out here. So mum and dad are going to be dropping you out here probably 7 days a week, picking you up 7 days a week, if you're keen, which when you're young and you love the game, you're keen. But would have been a great place to learn your game because it is tight, demands different shots. Greens are really good. You get all the shots here. You know, you learn to be a good chipper, good putter, a good shaper of the ball, and you know, it's just a quality golf course. So to be able to play here on a regular basis when, you know, you're sort of 18 to 25, that sort of age, and then take your game to town and compete with it, dog leg left to right into a nice green. This is a 2-tier green, so there's not a lot of room at the top tier, but you're only hitting sort of wedges in if you hit the drive in the right spot. But yeah, it's this course just flows with the landscape. 13, unlucky for some. 132 metres, 137 metres for the men. Straight downhill par 3. Really good hole. It's one of those holes where you can become unstuck. You have to hit green. Do not hit it through the back. Hit it in the bunkers, tough bunker shot. So really the only place is the dance floor, otherwise you're really going to be battling to make a 3. Great hole, another good hole at Millicent Golf Club. So I was just waiting for a greenkeeper. He was just spraying around the bunker edges just then. Important not to hit up on greenkeepers. Not a good idea to hit up on greenkeepers. Normally if they're not going to be too long, they'll quickly get out of your way. Quickly finish the job and get out of your way. If they're going to be too long, well, normally they'll move aside and call you up. So yeah, just be patient. They're just trying to do a job. Right, this par 3. I'm going to hit a little 9-iron. Yeah, so it's a nice little hole. When I say it's a demanding tee shot, I mean really you're only hitting anything from 7-iron to wedge any given day with wind. But it'll make you come unstuck this hole if you're not careful, that's for sure. With chip shots, what I learned quite a few years ago, and you probably heard how to do this, but the best thing to do with a chip and run, hit it in the air for not very long and run it out, but as soon as it hits, it's sort of nipping and stopping and then just rolling out, is to put all your weight on your front foot, place the ball on your back foot, and when you take it away, there's no wrist. So all you're doing is basically this triangle that you're forming, you just move that triangle. It's almost like a putting stroke. And what it'll do, it'll help you just clip the ball off the surface. So weight on the front, ball off the back foot, open stance, and just move that triangle. And you can just hear the clip. That's the best way to chip and run. So I reached the top of the hill here, just starting to walk on the fairways. The rough looks really clean. It looks like they've been doing a lot of work, a bit of clearing and stuff and trimming branches. But yeah, this is the par 5, so you can see how it meanders to the right. So left hand side with that tee shot, left to middle is the spot to be. So you just got to avoid that right side at all costs. Yeah, the 15th, excuse me, and the 4th hole, as I remember, are the 2 real tough par 4s. 18's a good finish hole. I think it's important to have a good finishing hole, a strong hole. Too often you go to golf courses and the 18th is actually quite a weak hole. I think it's important to have a strong finish. So it keeps you on your toes. So if you're scoring well, you got to keep concentrating and have a good score. But I think it's important to have a nice strong 18th hole, don't you? So these renovations going on around me, it's all done by volunteers, and being that there's no greenkeeper here at the moment, the president said they haven't had a greenkeeper for 12 months and he's been sort of basically doing it himself. Tough gig, been there, done that. But yeah, it's purely volunteers, a little core and top dress green, so there's always a dedicated team that keeps golf clubs like this going, whether it be footy clubs, baseball clubs, whatever, golf clubs, you need that volunteer base. But yeah, they're doing a good job here. The course is the same as it always is, good, and you're always going to come back and play it again. Places like these golf courses can only be achieved from yesteryear, from people that had a vision and had antiquated machinery, but they got it done, and they leave a legacy that hopefully other people will take over and continue and improve on. So we should never take for granted what's here for us to use, and think about all the work that's put in and the time that's put in to create something like this, and take care of it when you come here and play these courses. This is where my drive ended up, probably 80 metres from the green, so a big snap cut in the right hand side rough. Well, it's not rough, but in the right, I'm not on the fairway, but it's safe. I'm going to skip the 17th. It's a long par 3, about 200 metres. Bunker on the right hand side, so you can bail out left a little bit. Obviously you try and hit green, but the bailout shot is the one on the left, and you normally can chip and putt from there as long as you don't hit it too far left. That's the green there. So you can see the bunker on the right. It's not a good bunker to get in because you don't normally get a lot of room to play with between where your ball is and the flag. So the bailout area is there on the left hand side. But we're going to walk over to the 18th tee. Golf's one of those games where you got to constantly remind yourself of what you're trying to achieve with that swing, with that shot, rather than just stand there and just try and hit it. I mean, like I said yesterday, once you, if you practice enough and you ever get to that point where you don't even think about your golf swing, it's just about hitting it at the target, that's when you're in the zone. But when you're struggling to gain form, then there are swing thoughts you got to think about. But don't get bogged down in it. You're still trying to hit that target, remember? So swing freely, but swing with a purpose. So this is the 18th. Good finishing hole. Like, it's a bit of a blind tee shot. It's a straight away tee shot, so you're just required to hit a straight shot. There's a rise there, and once you get over the rise, it flattens out, it goes downhill a bit and then up to the green. But it's a really good finishing hole, so it demands a good tee shot. You get that tee shot away, then there's nothing too hard really about that second shot. This can often play into the wind, which makes it a lot longer. Let's see how we go. This is something I like to see at golf courses when they put the tee markers like close together like that, so they don't use one side of the tee to the other. So that's for two reasons. For wear factor, so they can keep you in a certain area so you're not wearing the whole tee out, but also it can dictate your tee shot. It depends. You can hit it. You can put a tee markers on the far left side or far right side, and if it's a par 3 and the pin's on the left or the right, can completely change the aspect of the hole with this type of shot you're playing. So I like to see that when they actually make it a little bit more intimate and have the tee markers closer together like that. So got away with that tee shot. Again, right rough, not thick rough, but missed fairway. The fairways look good when you're on them. That's what you're presented with your second shot. So I'm only 100 metres out, so that's not normal for this hole. I mean, you can boom it right down there into that hollow, probably 20, 30 yards short of the fairway mid-summertime when the fairways are running with a good shot. but it does normally play a bit longer than this. But I've got about an 80 metre shot, so we'll see how we go. So I just try and hit one into the heart of the green. All I'm looking for is a nice contact 80 metre shot, 80 metre wedge shot. Without even knowing, that's almost gone in the hole. Millicent Golf Club. Definitely get there and have a game for sure. You'll enjoy yourself. And I was lucky not to have core greens there. Unfortunately, didn't get to play Penola. I was too strapped for time. I was almost not even going to call in there, but I thought I'd better just check the course out and see how it's going. But that's another course that you should definitely play. You're always going to strike good greens there. And to me, the fairways look like they've improved as well. So, and this one here, Millicent Golf Club, definitely put that on your wish list if you're coming down here in the southeast, or if you're not even thinking about coming down here, you should, because you can go out and you can play Millicent, Narracourt, Penola, Mount Gambier, any of the coastal courses like Kingston's a good track. Robe's got some terrific holes there. Do yourself a favour and get down here. Well, until next time, good golfing, take care of yourselves, and bye-bye for now. And on your golfing journey in the summertime throughout the southeast, head for the coast, and this is what you can expect to find. The beautiful limestone coast.